Women as Experts.
We talk a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusivity, but talking about it and finding the people that represent our community are, as we know, two different things. And I think we all get a little bit lazy, including the media, in terms of the people that we go to find out answers or to, I know this person is going to be available to come on the radio this morning, and so we'll just ask them to do this. I think that it's really incumbent on everybody to do a little digging and find people, because we know there are qualified people out there that have expert opinions on a lot of different things that don't have to be all male and they don't have to be white. And I think we can put a real intersectional lens on that. And it's just going to take some work. The deal is, though, once you've found those people, then you've got a much more diverse pool of people from which you can draw and get the different opinions. Because no matter what, we all view the world through the eyes that we're looking at in our own experiences. And that's what we bring to the table. And so everything that comes in, we perceive it through our lens and our experiences. You can't tell me that everybody has the same viewpoint on things, and especially if they haven't experienced it. I mean, how many times have we been in conversations where you're talking to a guy about something and it's, well, I don't think that's right. Well, right, because you didn't experience it.
In 2020, the International Women's Media Foundation released 2 studies authored by Luba Kasova entitled The Missing Perspectives of Women in News. Both reports discussed several issues related to gender equality in news coverage, including the representation, or lack thereof, of women as experts. The first report was more specific to COVID-19 news, and the second, released 2 months later, was broader in nature for discussion of these issues. In the studies from the International Women's Media Foundation, it was found that media featured men as experts and commentators about COVID-19 news 4 times more frequently than they featured women. It is suggested that one of the reasons for this underrepresentation of women is that status quo bias results in journalists relying on established sources who are much more likely to be men than women.
That for the most part, especially for journalists rushing to get stories, they tend to go with who they know, go with their networks. And who we know is predicated generally on people who are like us, and who will give the quotes very quickly and who has the information. And you're going to have to go beyond the quote unquote mainstream, whatever that might be for a certain issue. And you're going to have to find those experts. And they're out there. Clearly, it takes more time. It means you have to start cultivating those connections. And it may be uncomfortable because you're having to go beyond those that you know.
In the broader report from the International Women's Media Foundation on women's representation in the news, it was found that the expertise of women has historically been marginalized and undervalued, and that in the 10-year time period between 2005 and 2015, less than 20%